have not seen this yet, so there's going to be an instant reaction to this. I assumed he was injured if they were going to hot shot the turn from Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, but let's see what happens here. Obviously, he's going for the Rob Van Dam, Van Terminator without a trash can or a chair. He's going coast to coast, as you would say, from this turnbuckle to that one. Oh, but he's not doing a drop kick. Oh, wow. There it is right there. That's the beginning. I'm surprised he didn't, break his arm. He obviously did all the pressure of this bump down here is on his shoulder. So what a weird move. What was he trying to do?
I guess a diving headbutt.
Yes, he was.
I mean, it's another ill-advised move.
Too.
It's a diving headbutt, but
yeah. This is like, you know what would be cool, and you know what no one's ever done, but there's a reason for it. Oh, did he get a torn rotator cuff off this?
We don't.
If he didn't, he's lucky.
Yeah, we don't know at this point. We believe that Seth is going to be having more tests done this week. It also goes to a conspiracy theory that is why he was wearing a massive coat on Raw on Monday, as we record this, to hide some possible heavy bracing. He was also photographed around Australia with his arm in a sling after this as well. So we can get into, is it real, is it not, specifically with Seth, due to the Saturday night's main event faux knee injury thing, where they seemed determined to fool the fans into thinking he was going to be gone for a while, and then he wasn't. But now this time everyone's thinking, yeah, this could actually be real.
Well, I'm going to say right now, this injury is sponsored by Slim Jim. So snap your shoulder into a Slim Jim. Well, this is TKO. I'm sure they would do it if they thought about it. But that's a super cool move. That's awesome. He hit the headbutt perfectly, and he took care of Cody. But the thing is, I don't know what you could have done, like his hand's here. If his hand wasn't down to at least brace it a little bit, what are you doing then? Your whole left shoulder is you could literally probably break your shoulder and maybe have a neck injury to go along with it. There's no good way to bump off this. This is really, dude, he's so athletic. I got to put it over in a way. He's so athletic to be able to pull this on. And look at this. He knows it's a bad bump. This here and this here is this is going to hurt a lot. How do I brace myself? And by bracing himself, dude, you could have broken this shoulder and tore that rotator cuff. We could have a multitude of injuries when it comes to this. Obviously, he was holding the microphone with his right hand, so I guess it's okay. But man, this is really bad. Yeah, right there. Look at that. Once you see it sort of braced up against your body, something's wrong. Elbow, wrist, shoulder, or all three of those. And look, it's dead. You wouldn't be selling it like that if it were fake. Now we are in boy you cried wolf territory, right, James? Mm-hmm. Based off that Saturday night's main event, quote, injury with LA Knight and Seth Rollins, where he just ended the match early. Now, the weird part about this is he's hurt for real, but he finishes the match and goes over. Strange kind of reversal on what should have happened. You know what I mean?
I think at the time with the Saturday night's main event knee injury thing, is that I'll always say this, I made the point, but we sort of gave them the benefit of the doubts, because they actually did do it very, very well. They played it very well. But I remember saying at the time, when he did the quebrada, the lion salt, and landed on his knee, I said, that looks a bit selly. It looks a bit too pro wrestling. You know what I mean? He sort of jumped up.
Yeah, but we thought it was a two-stage injury, like he did the first thing, where he landed weird, and it seemed like his knee kind of really buckled towards the inside, I believe, right?
Yeah.
So we thought,
but that was on the almost like the Rolling Thunder thing. So he does a forward roll, doesn't he? He lands, it sort of gets up on his knee,
and it buckles towards the hard cam, and then he does the lion salt, and that's there. I thought it was just like a bang, bang injury that he was like, oh, that felt weird. Then his knee came straight down on the mat, and I was like, he could have blown his knee out. I mean, if they're going to do it that way, book your whole show and make us believe everything else. Yeah, I think there's a
Chris, B-rolled this in. Hopefully there's a picture, a fan picture will come up with the credits and everything. So Seth Rollins was spotted out and about after Crown Jewel in the streets of Perth, I guess, with his arm in a sling. So people, I mean, but the thing is, he was turning up to AAA and Raw and stuff with his knee in a brace as well. So people were once again dubious of the claims. But also, we'll get to Raw in a minute, actually. But also, it has been said that he's been taken off internal tour schedules as well in Japan. He's been replaced by Dominic Mysterio. He was going to be in like a 6-man or a tag team, whatever it was, in main events in Japan in this weekend, I guess. Or, you know, Friday and Saturday, I think. And now he's been taken off. It's been treated for the most part that this is a legitimate injury. But also, what did you make of the Raw angle of Braun turning on Seth and kicking him out of the group and getting Paul Heyman involved? How do you react to it? And does that lend more credence that he is actually injured?
Yeah, I would say so, because they really hot-shot at the turn. Now, this is going to be a benefit in a way to Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, who were really just kind of minimized in the Vision group as just two, kind of like AOP. They reminded me of just the AOP guys that Seth had before, and they were really doing a lot of great work on their own. Now, it's unfortunate with the injury. If it is indeed valid and credible, it sucks, because I looked at the history of Seth Rollins, how many times he turned babyface, turned heel, turned back and forth. You get to a certain point creatively where the fans now, and especially with the boy who cried wolf stuff with the injury, should we have sympathy for him? Is this just, quote, a ruse? What do we do? Therefore, we may just sit there, cross our arms, and just watch. There may be apathy down the road, not sympathy for Seth Rollins, because so many times you've turned back and forth. This angle and this group were just starting to get their legs underneath them, pun intended, and now you just throw it all by the wayside, and this guy now is going to be out.
Big Show syndrome, I think that's called. Didn't he turn like 38 times?
Yes, he did. It was originally Paul Orndorff who was like, you've turned twice. Oh my God. Now Seth is in basically almost double digit, yeah. Philly accent, double digits. My goodness. I will say this about the match, though. Number one, he was going over, so he's going to finish the match. He was winning that belt. But I really believe the real reason, in all seriousness, this guy right here. What did he do when they worked the cage match and he tore his pec? Probably the bravest, most courageous performance I have ever seen by anybody. This, Cody with this, and this is before the match started, not the finish. Seth had an easier time to finish the match in a way. Cody was the poster child for every wrestling school I ever grew up going to in the initial and then furthering my training. You're hurt anyway. You might as well win or finish the match. And Seth's thing, you're hurt anyway. Might as well win the belt.
Yeah, he won the Crown Jewel title or whatever
Can
it's
you
called with the ring as
explain
well.
that to me? What is this championship?
Okay, right. As far as I can tell, it's a Saudi Arabian thing that they invented, and it's probably, I don't even know if it's like the original one that was from Saudi Arabia last year, because that thing was probably the most expensive championship belt in wrestling ever made.
It was real.
And it was real. Maybe they can afford it, why not? I don't know if it's the same belt or like a less expensive knockoff kind of thing to give it him, but it seems to be like a once-a-year thing for Crown Jewel, regardless of what country Crown Jewel's in. I don't get it, anyway.
That's what I mean. It's Crown Jewel, but it's not in Saudi Arabia, and it's for the Crown Jewel title in Australia. I'm confused.